The hour being 7 o'clock, it says 6:59. I'll call this meeting to order. If we could have Steve Core lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Hutchins, seconded by Councilman Bushman. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. First item on the agenda is citizens and other communications. Are there any citizens in the audience that are not? Go ahead, Janet.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name's Janet Hartford. I appreciate the time to come up here and talk to you. Tonight, surprisingly, I'm talking about Mustangs. And I was able to get 2 more Mustangs from the honor form. I have an agreement with the BLM. I sign on as a volunteer for them. And then I volunteer for the city as well to have the Mustangs there. So this year they brought me 2 mares. Super nice horses, very kind, very gentle. They were halter started from the honor farm. And when they halter start their horses, they also put pack saddles on them. So if you're looking for a horse to pack your elk out, your deer out, whatever, these little gals are ready to do that. The sorrel horse, which is red, is a 2-year-old, and she's about 14 3 hands high. So she's going to be a big girl. The other little horse up there is a bay, and she's 14-1, and she's 5 years old. And she is super cute. I wished I had room for her. I'd take her. But she's got different markings than a normal bay horse. She's got a line down her back. She's got stripes on her legs, stripes on her neck, and some striping markings on her face. So that's typical dun marking, which you don't see in a bay horse. I've sent their hair in to get the DNA tested, and it hasn't come back yet. I kind of think that little bay horse might have some Spanish barb in her. She's a little short coupled, and that's kind of what those horses look like. The sorrel mare, as I told you, she's 2, and she already has a family that has put papers in to adopt her, so that went really fast. The week after I had them here, they called me about her. So I'm interested to see what her DNA says, because she's got a little bit of a curly mane, and if you look in her ears, they're a little curly, so she might have a little bit of curly in her. She's from Little Colorado, which is north of here as you're headed towards LaBarge on the right-hand side, and across the Highway 28, that's where Little Colorado goes. It blends in from White Mountain, so that's Little Colorado HMA. Excuse me. The bay horse is from Lost Creek, which is farther east, kind of in the middle of the Divide Basin area. So, and it's a tiny little spot there, Lost Creek. I'm not familiar with those horses, so I gave you a map of the HMA, and you can see on the map Little Colorado and Lost Creek. So interestingly, so this is an old map. It shows Divide Basin on there, and it also shows salt wells. Those 2 HMAs have been done away with. If you go to a new map, those are gone. This happened because the cattlemen and sheepmen and ones that owned the ranches out there sued the government and want all of the Mustangs taken off of Divide Basin and Salt Wells HMA. So what they've done is they've removed those boundaries. However, the horses are still there. There's still quite a few horses, and I'm not sure when they're gonna go gather those. there's another lawsuit against the BLM to not gather them, so it's hard to say. It's hard to get rid of all the Mustangs out there because just like wolves, they don't know boundaries. They don't know where they're supposed to be and not be, so. The interesting thing about Salt Wells is it's got a high population of curlews, so people really like the curlews. And the other thing is they've got a huge following, so there are people that come over all over the United States to see these horses. And that's good, but the bad thing is they go out and wander amongst them. And the horses get kind of acclimated to people around them, which is really not a good thing. They had one foal born this year. Those people walking around the herd out there had spooked the new mother, and she abandoned that little horse. So the BLM went and got the foal, and somebody's fostering right now. So it's in good hands. I haven't had the chance to put any signs up there. The wind's kind of horrible. So, but I'd advise, they're very, very friendly, and they'll come up to you and want to be petted, but sometimes they can be a little nippy and a little mouthy, so just watch your hands and try not to feed them because they could get a little excited about having food. They don't know about carrots and they don't know about apples. So I don't know if anybody's been up there trying to give them that, but they'll spit them out. So the other thing you need to be careful is that there's too big of a chunk of carrots or apples, they could choke on it, so we don't want that. Otherwise, they're going to be there till the 1st of September. I know they were late getting here. The BLM's understaffed. There's only, well, there's 3 people at the Rock Springs office, but one of them's hurt, and he's not able to do much. And then the other one is retiring here in a few days, so, yeah, so we'll be down to 1 person. The other thing I want to mention is these horses from the Honor Farm in Riverton, they do a really good job with these horses. They send horses to Cheyenne Frontier Days. They do an auction at Riverton for them. And sometimes those horses go for as much as $6,000. So that facility is going to be the #1 facility in the United States. They're shutting down the Canyon City prison from handling horses now. So it'll be Riverton, and there's one still in down in Nevada. I can't think of the name of the facility, but so that's all. I want to thank the city too for allowing me to bring these horses in. I think it's good for people to see them, exposure for them, and to get more of them adopted. There's a lot out there that needs homes, and these guys are really good. They'll be good horses for you. You could have a going away present, Pete.
I always enjoy going and looking at them. You don't have the opportunity to see them up close very often. So
Yeah.
I appreciate all that you do there.
Oh, thanks. I'm a little behind on their, on the recycling their manure, but I'll get caught up. Any other questions for me?
Thanks for the presentation, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janet.
Thank you, Janet.
Okay, moving on, item 5, ordinances. Item A, consideration on second reading or ordinance amended. Oh, sorry.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
I'm Brad Dodson. I work for Green River Police Department. And I'm not here to speak for Green River Police Department. Chief's here. He does a great job. We're happy to have him here. I'm here as a citizen and also just as somebody who works for the department to want to make myself available. Last meeting, you guys decided not to approve the LPR project. And while I recognize that decision, I was a little disappointed, didn't listen to the chief a little bit more and maybe take a little bit more time to reevaluate that decision before coming to that conclusion. So there's a lot of people that did a lot of work on that project, and a lot of us that were hoping that that was something that was going to come to fruition because it was going to be a tool that we were going to use, that could use, is going to help us with investigations. So part of the reason why I'm here is that's what I do. Today, I had people asking me, do you have cameras? Do you have LPRs? We deal with that quite a bit, and I wanted to maybe voice that, and maybe that's something you as a council hasn't heard from the community, that people do look for those things and ask for those things and wonder if those are tools that we have available at Artis, being able to use. Shortly after your guys' meeting on Tuesday night that weekend, we had a stolen vehicle, and I actually made a lot of phone calls to other law enforcement agencies and were able to utilize LPRs from other areas to help track where that stolen vehicle came. And that stolen vehicle was stolen out of Green River, out of somebody's driveway. This last weekend, we had another attempt of somebody trying to steal a vehicle, and we don't like to talk about specifics of investigations because we don't want the bad guys essentially to know what we're doing, but we have a lead, and we have a lead on a vehicle, and an LPR would have been great to have, or some more cameras to have to help maybe track that vehicle down. It's a tool, and again, I'm not here to say shoulda, woulda, coulda, but at the same time, make myself available as somebody who works there and interacts with the community daily, knowing that, hey, this is something people ask, this is something people maybe even expect us to have, and how beneficial it could be to us, and specifically to me, time management, hours, all of those things. So I'll be here. I'll be here at the end of the meeting. If anybody wants to meet with me, have any questions, I can make sure everybody has my contact information. I do appreciate the chief and coming to you guys and really putting together a project that could have benefited us, and I think would have benefited the entire community of Green River. And I hope that if it comes in front of you again, consider it. And hey, if there's some pushback or some questions, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy, come down to the office. I can meet afterwards wherever. Pretty easy to get a hold of, and happy to dispel some fears or concerns, or maybe just give another side of the story, especially somebody who's on essentially the front line trying to solve these crimes for the citizens of this community every day. So thanks for your consideration. I'm one of those people that don't show up because unless there's an issue, right? And so I appreciate that and recognize the lack of sacrifice here, but I recognize the sacrifice that everybody else is making by being here. So that's not lost. I do appreciate working for the city of Green River. And I've told my supervisors this is the best job, best place I've ever worked, and I will continue to tell everybody that. I just hope that maybe we can work together a little bit more on some future projects, and that's what I got. So thanks for your time, appreciate it. Stay safe out there, thank you.
Appreciate you sharing your perspective.
Thank you.
Okay. Have it, council?
Ask if there's anybody else.
There isn't, well, there could be.
There could be.
Are there any other citizens in the audience that are not on the agenda that would like to address the council? Okay, seeing none, I'm gonna move on to ordinances. Thank you, council. Item A, consideration on second reading and ordinance amending the Green River Code of Ordinances, Appendix D, franchises, Article 4, Q West Corporation. The past several months, the city has been working with Quest Corporation and Red Oaks to update the current franchise agreement. So this is the second reading on this particular ordinance. Anybody else have anything to say about this? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Berg.
I move to approve on second reading an ordinance amending the Green River Code of Ordinances, Appendix D, franchises, Article 4, Quest Corporation.
Second.
Okay, moved by Councilman Berg, seconded by Councilman Shuttrin. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I believe it's unanimous. Item B, consideration of on second reading and ordinance amending the Green River Code of Ordinances Appendix D franchises, adding Article 5, Visionary Communications LLC. Okay, for the past several months, the city has been working with Visionary Communications LLC and Red Oaks to update the current franchise agreement. Again, this is something we've already talked about. Just a second reading. If there's no questions or comments from anybody, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Byrd.
I move to approve on second reading an ordinance amending the Green River Code of Ordinances Appendix D franchises, adding Article 5, Visionary Communications LLC for a franchise agreement.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Burke, seconded by Councilwoman Bushman. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6 is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Burke, seconded by Councilwoman Mazer. Any further discussion?
Discussion on consent agenda.
You're correct. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Councilman Burke, again. Mr. City Administrator.
Mayor, Council, thanks. Just a couple things that weren't in the update that was sent out today. We did have a meeting with the county and with the business council beforehand regarding some opportunity zones, so I'll be able to put some details out on that. There was, in the previous Trump administration, the first one, they had created opportunity zones for business development. A lot of the corridor around Purple Sage, around the college area, were able to be defined in that as an opportunity zone, which provides tax incentives as well as helping to bring industry in, a certain specific industry. They are looking for some additional areas within the state on this round. It's been identified from the west side of Green River, basically from the railroad tracks, almost all the way out to pretty much to the border of the county on the left-hand side and going slightly north. It can cover into Granger, Opal, some of the mining areas. So we have to meet some certain criteria regarding household income, but the area is defined enough that we might be able to get that done. If so, it'll get presented to the governor for approval from a federal side. So you'll see some more stuff coming in that, but if you hear something about OZ or Oz or opportunity zones, that's what that stuff is. And we also had a meeting regarding with the Power Coalition. We're still moving forward with that. The group that has been set up to look at Rocky Mountain Power, other facilities that might be able to provide power to the area. We have a meeting with the Public Service Commission, Rocky Mountain Power, and some other agencies. New from there is being set up at the end of August, but so it's still continuing to move forward. That's all I have.
Thank you, Reed. Anybody have any questions for Reed? Galen.
I have no report tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you, Galen. Councilman Kilpack.
I do have one thing I'd like to discuss just for a second with the council and with myself, and that is the LPR, the license plate reader. I received an email, and I think the rest of the council received it as well, in regards to the people that voted for it were dumb and dishonest. And then he brought up my name in the email. Now, I'll accept the dumb part, because sometimes I am dumb. Just ask my kids if you don't believe me. But the other part, where he said I was dishonest, I do not accept that. I think that's a slander, and I think that's unacceptable. And I think that individual who lives in Laramie, Wyoming, is totally out of line and has no right to say that without any knowledge or information. So I wrote him back a short notice, and all the council got it. I meant what I said, and I stand by that. The other thing I'd like to bring up, some of LPR, the license plate readers, is all the people that were in the audience 2 weeks ago that were against it. They don't understand what happened. But they have been, if they ever go to Salt Lake, then they've been picked up by the license plate reader, because Salt Lake has the license plate readers all over Salt Lake. So their plates have been picked up and are in the data system, and guess what? So are mine, because I go to Salt Lake at least once, sometimes twice a month, for medical reasons. And the other thing that the people in the audience didn't understand is we as a council did not vote down the LPR. All we voted down was the funding mechanism. So if that comes back to the council, we can still vote for the LPR. We just have to figure out how to pay for the funding. And what was interesting to me is, I don't know how long ago, we as a council voted for Mr. Rush to go out for the grant to fund the LPR, and we all voted in favor of it. All of us on the council, 100% voted in favor of it. And then when it came back to accept just the funding, we turned it down. So we have not turned down the license plate reader. I don't know if the chief wants to bring that back on the table, or if Reed wants to bring that into a workshop. That's up to whatever the Reed would want to do, or the chief would want to do. But I just want to make it clear that I will not sit here and accept somebody calling me dishonest. I'll agree sometimes to the dumb part, but not the dishonest part. And so that is totally unacceptable for anybody to say it about anybody on the council. That is incorrect, not acceptable. And so it's important that the public knows we did not vote down the LPR. All we voted down was the funding mechanism. And so if we want to bring it back, then we're going to have to figure out a way to find the funding, because we lost that money now. So that is all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Williams.
I have nothing.
Councilwoman Mazer. Councilman Shutter.
I have no report this evening.
Councilman Berg.
I have had a lot of citizens come to me with concerns on the e-bikes and the e-scooters. I know we've talked about it in here as far as we are working on something toward that, but I did want to bring up their concerns. On my way here tonight, going around East Teton, one shot out of the Greenbelt area and across the road going up toward Harrison School. And if I'd have been going 2 miles an hour faster, I wouldn't have seen him in time. So I just wanted to leave that as a point of people are talking about it in the community. That's all I've got, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Bushman.
Just a friendly reminder that voting starts today in person and through August 18th. So make sure you vote in the primaries. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Mayor?
Yes.
I forgot one more thing.
Go ahead, Councilman.
LPR. The important thing for us to also know what part of the problem at the last meeting was the company was with Motorola, went through Motorola. Well, the city's already connected with Motorola, and so we're already going through their system. And also, I had been contacted while running on the Greenbelt by more than one person that they would like the city to reconsider bringing that back to the table and talking about it. If you wait 5 months, I'll be gone. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Two things. I'm going to start with I'm going to be gone in 5 months. There was an article in the Green River Star. It was very nice. I got a lot of fine comments from people. I think it's interesting that in 20 years I didn't get too many when I'm leaving. Got quite a few. So, the other thing I want to say is the e-bikes situation. We've met with the county attorney, the city's prosecuting attorney, pardon me, and he's submitted a draft to us So it's gonna come up in a workshop very soon. And there are lots of people in the city that would like something done. We'll have to discuss what that is. But, so it's moved quite far along. We have a draft. And amongst other things, we gave him a copy of the city of Torrington. Begins with a T.
Number of them.
And they're the only ones in Wyoming that had something already. So we're quite far along in that, and we'll be dealing with that. And I suspect we'll be dealing with some of the other things that have been talked about tonight in goal-setting sessions coming up pretty soon, and workshops. A lot of that has been scheduled, held off because of the budget, the end of the budget year and all that sort of thing. So we'll be taking up those things very soon. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor,
Councilman Shutter.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Is that you, Ron? Seconded by Councilman Williams. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, everybody.